Today, we're all stressed because of the coronavirus and the impact of the financial markets, and that's completely understandable. But we have to be very careful and take all the proper precautions. Here in New York, where I live, most of the businesses are shut down, and there are very few people on the streets. And my family and I are heeding the advice to stay indoors. We're staying indoors with our kids to protect them. But our homes are full, and as Latinos, we already know what it is to live in one big happy family. Also, the team here at Finhabits is working from home, and in order to help stop spread the virus. And I hope you and your family are okay and that you're preparing as well. Well, today in this live event, I wanted to do something a little bit different and discuss that even in this uncertainty, we must remain positive and think optimistically. And let me tell you why. In my 20 years of experience in finance, I have lived through 3 big crises affecting the markets. And I wanted to share some of my experience and give you reasons why you also should remain calm and remain optimistic about the future. First, in the year of 2000, I was working and saw the dot-com bubble. That's when all the tech companies were going up and up, the internet was booming, and then suddenly it crashed. And then it was followed by the 9/11 World Trade Towers collapsing. Later, 8 years later, I lived through the financial crisis of 2008. I was working in finance. I was 28, and at that time everything was frozen. The banks were frozen, the financial system was frozen, and now we're living through a new crisis, which is a health crisis. Every one of these previous crises, the economy has recovered, and that's what we need to understand. In each of these crises, the economy has recovered and it has continued to grow. And that is an opportunity for us to not only say we're doing what we're doing, we're thinking long term, we have a plan, we're gonna get through this, but it's also a plan to think about opportunities. Let me give you, let me tell you what happened to me in 2008. Similar to today, there was panic in the streets. People were like, frozen and they didn't know what to do. But during that time, there was also a time of reflection on my end, and I said, what's happening with all these banks, and why is it that the system didn't work as it was supposed to work? And from that mindset, it came an idea that became my first company. So in 2009, a year later, I started my first company, right during the crisis, and that company grew successfully for 3 years, and then later it was acquired. It was an amazing experience. Why? Because during the crisis, I was thinking, what is it that we can do to make things better? And we developed a software, and we started offering it to institutional investors to manage their portfolios better. And it worked. Then in 2012, I launched my second company. The first company was called Fundspire. The second company was called Madison Quant Labs. And it was a software-based trading system, and it allowed us to trade across the world with the software. And it was amazing. It worked very well, and I ran that company for 3 years. Keep going. Now, the third company. Now it's Finhabits. And in the span of 12 years since the last crisis, I've started 3 companies, and I've been able to see how the economy recovers, and if you're ready and you are capturing that opportunity, you can greatly benefit from it. And that's what I want you to think about. We're living through that type of scenario right now. There's definitely a crisis right now, but we need to make sure that this is the time to be strong. This is the time to have courage. And as Latinos, we're fighters. So we might get knocked down, but we always get up. And that's what I want you to remember. We are resilient, and this is the time to take this crisis as an opportunity to be stronger and be more successful in life. That's what I want you to understand. That's why I'm optimistic about this current scenario. Now, with all this uncertainty out there, there's things you can do immediately. And let's go to what are those things that you need to act immediately today. So what you should be doing, number one is, of course, we cannot just sit down and freeze, and we need to take action. And this is the first recommendation that I want you to take into consideration. You need to minimize your unnecessary expenses. You have a budget, you already know how to get a budget, and you know what are the expenses that are necessary. Everything that doesn't fit in that list, everything that is unnecessary, you must avoid it. So you need to minimize your expenses. The second thing that I want you to do is, if you have a loan or you have debt or a credit card, maybe this is the time to call the companies and ask for an extension. It's happening already. Some institutions are allowing some people to skip 1 month of payments. So you can skip March, you don't pay interest, but then you continue paying in April. Maybe this is the time to call. Maybe this is the time to call your landlord if you're renting. This is the time to be open about it and call people who you owe money and tell them, hey, this is going through, this crisis is going through, and I want to ask you for an extension. And I have a plan. I'm going to repay you, but hey, give me an extension. This is the time to do it. If you have a business and you need a loan because you need to fund payroll or because you need it for cash flows, then the SBA, the Small Business Administration, is accepting applications for loans with very low interest, loans with interest of 3.75%. So this is the time to act. Finally, if you owe money in your taxes, you must file your taxes on April 15. But if you owe money, the government just told us yesterday that you have 90 days more to pay that debt that you have with the IRS. So take action. These are things that you can act on right now. Now let's talk about the things that you should not act on right now. With all this information, with all this stuff happening around us, if you have an investment plan and if you're investing for the long term, and you've been doing it for the last 2-3 years or for the last 2-3 weeks, you need to keep doing what you're doing. You shouldn't act on the news and you shouldn't freeze to continue investing. And this is the time to say, I'm not going to touch my investments. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to continue putting money every week. Why? Because with the dollar cost averaging week after week, you're buying into the market at a lower price right now. So it's very important that you take action in those first things that I mentioned, but you shouldn't take action in your investments, because over the long run, as I said, we've always gone through this crisis and we always recovered. So you have to make sure that you have a long-term plan. And I know you do. So on your investments, I'm suggesting keep doing what you're doing, keep investing, because usually when the market drops, it also tends to recover pretty fast. So I want you to participate in the recovery, because those days when the market recovers, they tend to be very, very juicy. So you have to keep investing, especially because you have a long-term plan. That's the idea of investing. And remember, here in Finhabits, we're always here to help you develop the habit of investing in your future. And that's what we're doing here. So you have to keep doing that. I know it's a tough world out there. I know some people are freaked out. I know it's difficult. But I want you to keep calm. And I want you to remember what I said. We're strong people and we're resilient. How can I take advantage of this opportunity? What opportunities are out there? How can you come out of this stronger? Because the decisions that you take now are going to probably be very important for the next 10, 20 years of your life. So that's what we need to be thinking about. I want you to remember that always here, and if you have any questions, please let us know. And we're here to open this dialogue. I want you to make sure that you can always reach us We're working very hard for you. That's what we're here for. Remember, this live is for educational and informational purposes only, and the investment advice of Finhabits is only offered through the app or the online service. And remember that the returns of investments is not guaranteed, and investments can lose money. And remember that previous performance does not mean it's going to be the future performance. So now that I finished with the legal disclaimer, I would like to now start taking questions. And remember, I'm going to try to answer all your questions. And if not, we will continue answering here through the chat. If you have questions, you can send us an email at support@finhabits.com. Okay, the first question I have is from Pablo. The question is in Spanish. It says, necesito saber qué va a pasar, mi cuenta va a seguir bajando. Okay, he's asking, I need to know what's going to happen. Is my account continue to go down? Okay, he's asking, the answer to that, Pablo, is in the immediate future, in the next 2-3 days, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen next week. And what I do know is that over the long run, the market tends to recover. And if you stay calm and if you stay investing, you will profit from this and you will be able to see your returns go up over time. La respuesta en español, yo no sé qué va a pasar en estos siguientes días, Pablo, pero lo que sí sé es que a largo plazo, a la larga, los mercados siempre se han recuperado de la crisis. Y eso es lo que hay que pensar. Hay que seguir pensando a largo plazo y hay que seguir invirtiendo, porque así es como uno así es como uno promedia su cuenta. Ahorita los mercados están en descuento, entonces hay que seguir invirtiendo. Lino, the next question is this a really good time to invest more money? Lino, well, if last month, let's say you bought a TV for $100 and now the TV is $60, same TV, the market is at a discount. Wouldn't you want to buy it again? Like, I believe that by doing what we recommend you to do is by investing over, every week or over every month and using the dollar cost averaging strategy. That's how you develop a successful strategy. If you want to invest more money right now, this is the perfect time to do it. Why? Because the market is cheaper. Just think about this. This is a long-term game. You shouldn't expect to invest the money right now because it's going to recover tomorrow or it's going to recover next month, because nobody knows. What we do know is that it tends to recover, and when it recovers very fast. So yes, this is a good time to invest more money. Alberto, how do I start investing with Finhabits? It's very simple. To start investing with Finhabits, you download the app, you create a profile, you select the type of account that you want to invest. We will recommend a portfolio. And then at the end, you connect your bank and set up a deposit plan. You can start with $5, $20, $50 a week, or you can do it monthly, or you can do it one time. It's up to you. It's very easy. It takes about 7 minutes. 1 second. Next question is, what are you doing to minimize risk? That's a very good question. When you invest with Finhabits, you're investing in a diversified portfolio. What that means is we're not putting all your eggs in one basket, and we never do that. We want you to have an investment that is diversified across geographies, across asset classes, across industries. Why? Because in situations like today, everybody's panicking, is pulling money out of equities. The stocks, continue to drop, and they're putting it in the dollars. So they're buying US Treasury. If you only had a portfolio that only had one stock, well, you would have seen a lot of losses. But if you invest with Finhabits in one of our portfolios, for example, we protect in most of our portfolios, we have US Treasury to protect you against those when the equity market drops like this. US Treasury tends to go up, and that's what's happening right now. So diversification helps you minimize your losses, and that's what we do here at Finhabits. Remember, diversification, it's a way to minimize your losses. It is not going to eliminate your losses, but it's going to minimize your losses, and that's the best way to invest. Next question. how can I remain optimistic when the situation is so dire? Very good question. I'm optimistic because I've been through this. And I'm telling you, over the long run, every downturn ends up in an upturn. Remember that if you have long-term plans, I'm optimistic because this is a very good opportunity to invest, and this is a very good opportunity to see how the economy is going to continue to grow from here. If the recovery is going to be tomorrow or in a week or in a month, I don't know. But if we have a long-term plan, and it's 3, 4, 5 years, and we're investing for that type of period, then this is the right time to invest because the market is cheaper today. And that's why I'm optimistic. I'm also optimistic because whenever there are crises, there's also an opportunity to go through your life and think through everything and say, is my family the way I want to have it? Are my finances in order? Is my business in order? It's like a reality check. Deep down, you're saying, we're going through this reality check right now. And we usually come out of these checks stronger. So that's why I'm optimistic. Next question. It says, Willow, it says, do I invest more money by making a bigger deposit, or is there another way? Do I invest more money by making a bigger deposit? Well, you can invest more money. Yes, you can always invest more money in the Finhabits app by making a one-time deposit. But if you have a recurring deposit, you're already investing more money regularly, whether that's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. So keep doing that. Keep your recurring deposits, but you can also add more money with a one-time deposit. That's right. Another question from Juan, and he's asking in Spanish, ¿Será que saco el dinero invertido? Should I take my money that I have invested? Okay, very good question, Juan. Let me respond it in English and then in Spanish. So, if you have a long-term plan and you take your money out right now, you're going to crystallize your losses. What does it mean? That means that for every buyer there's a seller. So right now, if you're selling your investment, you're the one selling when the market is down, and there's somebody buying. I want you to be the opposite. I want you to think about being a buyer because the prices are down. So you could always take your money out, but my suggestion, if you have a long-term plan, is that you should be a buyer right now. You shouldn't be a seller. La pregunta es, ¿será que saco el dinero invertido? La respuesta que yo diría, Juan, es, en todas las situaciones hay siempre un comprador y un vendedor. Y tú puedes retirar tu dinero cuando quieras. Es tu dinero, tú lo puedes retirar. Pero si tú tienes un plan de negocio, un plan de inversión a largo plazo, yo te recomiendo que no seas un vendedor ahorita, sea un comprador, porque el precio está más bajo. Entonces hay que ser compradores hoy en día. Hay que estar comprando ahorita porque el precio está más bajo. Esa sería mi recomendación. Si tú tienes un plan de largo plazo, no necesitas el dinero hoy en día para ninguna emergencia, entonces hay que seguir haciendo lo que estás haciendo y hay que seguir invirtiendo. Cristiano, ¿qué me recomiendas? Veo que voy perdiendo en mi cuenta de IRA. Feliciano is asking, what do you suggest? I see that I'm losing money in my IRA. Let me answer this in English first. So the question is, what should I do? I'm losing money in my IRA. The IRA is a retirement account. So the retirement account is for your retirement, for a long-term plan. So assuming that your retirement is in the next 10 years or maybe the next 20 years, you shouldn't be worrying about your IRA right now. You should actually be thinking, I should continue investing more money in the IRA, just like you've been doing it, because this is a good time to continue with that plan, the dollar cost averaging plan. If you need the money today, then this is, then because of an emergency, then you have to take it out, right? It's your money and you can take it out whenever you want. But I want you to be thinking long term, especially in an IRA, because this is the money for your retirement. La pregunta es, ¿qué me recomiendas? Que voy perdiendo dinero en mi cuenta de IRA. La cuenta de IRA es la cuenta del retiro. La que ofrecemos en Finhabits es la cuenta de retiro. Y estas cuentas, las carteras que están en estas cuentas y la meta de esta cuenta es para tu retiro, para tu jubilación. Y a lo mejor es en 10, 20 años. Y yo no sé, Feliciano, si tú estás planeando jubilarte en los siguientes 10 años o 20 años. Pero si no necesitas este dinero el día de hoy, el precio ha bajado, el precio del mercado ha bajado. Pero tú no debes preocuparte si no necesitas este dinero el día de hoy. Tú debes de seguir invirtiendo en esta cuenta de retiro, porque con el tiempo, en los siguientes 10 años, esta cuenta va a recuperarse. Recuerda, en la historia de las crisis anteriores, siempre que hay una bajada, regresa con una subida. Entonces, después de una crisis, existe un crecimiento económico. Entonces, esto es lo que vamos a vivir. Yo no sé cuándo, yo no sé si va a ser mañana o pasado mañana, pero así es como pasa. Entonces, yo te recomendaría que sigas invirtiendo en esta cuenta de retiro. Jaime, cuando todo vuelva a la normalidad, las ganancias serán mayores que las pérdidas. La idea de estar invirtiendo, Jaime, es que a la larga tú estés generando dinero en tus cuentas de inversión. Si no, el negocio de inversiones no existiría, ¿no? Si las pérdidas siempre fueran más altas que las ganancias. Entonces, la actividad de invertir tu dinero es una actividad de largo plazo. Si tú tienes esa mentalidad de estar invirtiendo a largo plazo, sí, las expectativas es que a la larga las ganancias van a ser mucho mayores a las pérdidas. Recuerda que hoy en día tú estás viendo pérdidas, pero son pérdidas que se consideran temporales, son pérdidas que están en tu cuenta. Y están en tu cuenta y tú puedes decir, yo las vendo hoy, cristalizas la pérdida, o tú dices, ¿sabes qué? Son temporales. Así es la inversión, sube y baja. Y como tú estás pensando a largo plazo, estas pérdidas temporales con el tiempo, cuando el mercado se tiende a recuperar rápido, vas a ver cómo las ganancias van a empezar a regresar. Entonces, en el mundo de las inversiones, años, el mercado, la bolsa de Estados Unidos te ha dado un rendimiento anualizado como del 8,5-9% año con año. Esto es a través de largo plazo. Entonces, sí espero, esa es la expectativa, va a haber ganancias en estas carteras.